Hey guys, Rexlent here. Welcome to another crash course, this time for Ciaccona. Ciaccona is the new Aero Erosion Aero support for the upcoming team. Hint hint, Cartetia probably. And even for the older Aero characters like Ji Yen. And the special thing about Ciaccona is that she can apply either Aero Erosion or Spectral Frazzle. So she can also benefit Phoebe as well as Zani. Like most crash courses, we'll go straight to the point to get you started as quickly as possible, starting with her basic attacks. If you look at her Forte gauge down here, she has 3 segments to it, and the only way to get 1 segment to her gauge is by performing the 4th basic attack of her combo or intro attack. So let's go through her basic attack. It's 4 hits, so 1, and then 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, and now see what happens on 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that she's either singing or playing her instrument, and I already have 1 segment to her Forte gauge. Now let's see what happens when I move her away or just jump cancel or do any other action. She's gonna leave behind an ensemble Sylph. So I'll just call them Sylph for now. And the Sylph will continue playing for her. What the Sylph or Ciaccona does when she's playing her instrument is that it's always constantly applying a 24% Aero bonus to the team. And don't let this range fool you. This range is absolutely massive. So if you see this green buff around her, that means you're getting the Aero buff. And if I run all the way here, I still get the buff. So it's extremely massive. Now, a small detail on whether a Sylph is active in the field is that if you can see on the left extreme and the right extreme of her Forte gauge, this leaf over here, this means that I have 1 Sylph in the field at the moment. Let's carry on with her basic combo chain. Now you know that every 4th basic, she gets 1 gauge and also generates 1 Sylph, up to a total of 2 Sylphs. So I'm gonna do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, that's the 2nd gauge, and I'm just gonna move away. That's the 2nd Sylph, and you can see now both leaves on her left and right of her gauge is lit up now. 2 Sylphs on the map, and also these Sylphs will be dancing here indefinitely, forever, until I do her ultimate. So you pretty much have 24% Aero buff all the way. These buffs don't stack, so having 1 or 2 Sylph, it's always 24% Aero buff. Now moving on to our basic attack, if you hold heavy attack, it's a launcher into the air, like so. And if I do my air combo, it's gonna skip straight to the 2nd combo. So I jump, 2, 3, 4. So you can do heavy and basic. Heavy, 2, 3, 4. Like so. And now for her resonance skill. Her resonance skill is really simple. Think Ji Yen. It's the same thing. It's a forward thrust that also applies 1 stack of Aero Erosion. Like this. You can also do it in the air and chain your basic combo right after it. Like so. Same thing for the ground. When you do E skill, her resonance skill, it's gonna follow up with 2nd basic attack. So E skill, 2, 3, 4. Like that. So Ciaccona is really simple. If you've played Changli, it's similar to Changli where you gotta land the 4th basic combo so that she gets 1 gauge. Now what happens when she has a full gauge? To activate her Forte, you simply do heavy attack. And it's a massive AoE pull for enemies, like so. Just simply press heavy attack. That's it. Now from the top again, Ciaccona, simple. Get 3 gauges and then do heavy. Like that. 1. 2nd gauge. 3rd gauge. 3 gauges. And then do heavy attack. Like so. The next thing I'll teach you is a really essential skill in playing Ciaccona, which is doing jump and dodge cancel to her Sylph. So notice how her 4th basic combo has her going up and down. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4. 1, 2. So 2 parts to her 4th basic combo. And her Sylph only spawns when she stomps the ground. I'll show you again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like this. So when she like slams on the ground, that's when she gets the gauge. However, you can cancel when she's in the air. You can cancel with a dodge or jump, and she will let the Sylph finish the combo for you while still getting the Forte gauge. So let me show you. I will cancel just as she goes up into the air. 1, 2, 3. See that? I'll do it again. 1, 2, 3. Dodge. So let me do heavy to clear the gauge. So it's easier than it looks. The trick is to not look at Ciaccona's animation. Just look at your gauge. The moment you see that she gains one segment of the gauge, as soon as she gains one segment, straight away cancel it, either with a dodge or jump. So watch this. I'm just gonna look at the gauge. 1, 2, 3. Gauge up, dodge. You see that? So again, see the gauge appear, dodge. Again, attack. See the gauge appear, dodge. So this is a really quick way to get Ciaccona's gauge up without having to follow through the whole combo. Now you know dodge cancelling on the ground combo. I'll show you the faster way to get her gauge, which is her air combo. I'll do the same thing again, except it's air combo. As soon as you see the gauge appear, cancel it with a jump. So I'll start with a jump combo. 1, 2, gauge, jump. Gauge, jump. Gauge, jump. You see that? So take a bit of practice. You don't have to look at Ciaccona's animations itself. You don't have to look at her attack animations. Just look at the gauge here. As soon as she gets a green gauge, you can already cancel it, even on the ground. Ciaccona's heavy Forte can also be cast in mid-air, like so. Like this. Now, before I talk about her ultimate, there's another thing that you should know when doing her heavy attack. You know that Ciaccona relies on cancel quite a bit. However, when you're doing her Forte attack, ensure that the yellow glow burst happens first, then cancel. Because if you do it too early, you're gonna cancel her Forte attack altogether. Let me illustrate for you. I'm gonna do her heavy Forte. And you see, I dodged right away, and the attack didn't happen at all. So try to avoid this. Try to let the animation play out. What I mean by the yellow glow is this. I'm gonna do her heavy attack. See that yellow glow? So when this symbol appears, that's when you can safely cancel with a dodge or jump. However, you don't have to worry about quick swapping. As soon as she casts the skill, you can just safely quick swap away. Last but not least, for her basic attack, of course, if you didn't know already, Ciaccona is a pistol user, and she has an aiming mode, so she can also pull out the Glock simply by pressing G, the usual, and cap them like this. Just something fun for you to know. Ciaccona can apply Aero Erosion from a couple of sources. The first is her intro attack. The next thing is every 4th basic attack applies Aero Erosion on them, if you didn't notice earlier. 4th basic attack. See how it has 1 Aero Erosion. The other source is her resonance skill, her forward step. So that's 1 more stack of Aero Erosion. And also her Forte attack, that's also gonna apply 1 stack of Erosion. Like that. And last but not least, her ultimate, which I'm gonna talk about right now. For Ciaccona's ultimate, as soon as you press it, she's gonna summon the 2 sylphs by her side. If you didn't have sylphs on the field, she's gonna generate 2 of them anyway. And she's gonna start dancing, like so. She's gonna stay rooted to the ground. And there's no way to move. And notice how the ring pulses into the inner circle. That's when you can press either A or D, or on your touchscreen, to select either apply Spectral Frazzle or Aero Erosion. And you're gonna press D every time on timing to apply the stacks, like this. Or you can press A for Frazzle. See how it's getting Frazzle now? Like so. And there's no way to move during this unless you press Ultimate again to cancel it manually. Now remember, when I activate the Ultimate, I have to press the skills on timing to apply the stacks. You can simply switch characters and she will do it automatically with the last color push. So Ultimate will always default to Aero Erosion at the beginning. You don't have to press anything if you just want Aero Erosion, like so. If I activate her Ultimate and I switch her out right away, she's gonna automatically do Aero Erosion for me. Like all these commands, she'll do it automatically. However, if you want to set her to Spectral Frazzle, then you have to manually press Spectral Frazzle the first time, just once. And then they will automatically register the last color that you input as the color that they will place for the remainder of her ultimate. Now in a team setup, let's say I want to place Aero Erosion for Rover for whatever reason. So I'm just going to do this, press ultimate, and switch to Rover right away. See how she's always doing Aero Erosion by default. Just like that. And then I'm always getting the buff from the Sylph as well. And then she's gonna keep applying Aero Erosion on enemies. Just activate her ult. Either switch right away for Aero Erosion, or press Spectral Frazzle at the beginning to get Spectral Frazzle effect. What I mean by Spectral Frazzle is once I press ultimate, immediately spam A key for the keyboard for Spectral Frazzle. Just do it once. Like so. And now it's yellow. So this will be good for Phoebe, where she constantly applies Frazzle on enemy. It's also going to be good for Zani. Remember how Zani gets charges every time Frazzle is applied? She converts it into her own Helical Ember, and then she gets her ultimate charge. Another gimmick that Ciaccona has on her inherent skill 1 is that if you decide to play her ultimate manually on her own, she will get 4 seconds of 100% HP shield as soon as she activates it. And also throughout the duration of her ultimate, she gets 50% damage reduction as well as super armor. So look at her HP right now, if I'm gonna play it on my own. Like so. Now, when it comes to her weapon, her signature weapon, Woodland Aria, is obviously the best for her. It gives attack bonus as well as arrow damage bonus whenever Aero Erosion is inflicted. And support-wise, it also reduces their arrow res by 8% at rank 1 whenever targets are hit with Aero Erosion. So this will complement Ciaccona's support role really well. And if you don't have Woodland Aria, the next thing you can move on to would be Static Miss, the standard 5-star weapon. If not, you can also use something like Cadenza to help with her concerto. Skill priority-wise, the bulk of Ciaccona's damage comes from her ultimate, so ultimate will be the first priority, followed by Forte Circuit. That's her heavy attack when she has a full Forte gauge. So ultimate and Forte has respectable damage. After that, it's gonna be normal attack since you're gonna be spamming a lot of 4th basic attack and also dodge counter. And then it'll be resonance skill and intro skill. The both of these have the same weight. And then of course her 2 inherent skills, the shield when she activates her ultimate, and also more Forte damage, 30% increase. And also you want all of her stat bonuses. She gets attack here and crit damage on the other one. Now when it comes to her Echo, you can use the new Gust of Welkin set to be an arrow support, since Gust of Welkin gives arrow damage on 2 set and also increases arrow damage for all resonators by 15% whenever Aero Erosion is inflicted, and also another further 15% for the user. So the 4 cost will be Fleur-de-Lis. And for the 3 cost, you can go double arrow or arrow and attack. And for the 1 cost, the usual attack percent. As for the substats, the usual double crit, attack percent, flat attack, energy regen, and the comfortable energy regen you're looking at will be about 125 to 130% for her. Now for her sequences, it's still too early to tell what's good for her because there hasn't been a new Aero Erosion based Aero DPS yet. Hint, hint, cartwheel probably. But I'll just briefly go through her sequences. Ciaccona already works pretty well at S0. At S1, casting basic attack increases her own attack by 35%. And casting resonance skill gives her immunity to interruption. This is a nice small boost. However, Ciaccona's support ability peaks at S2, where using Resonance Liberation will grant a further 40% arrow damage bonus to the whole team. So you're gonna get a total of 40 plus 24% from her own solo concert, 64% total arrow damage bonus for the whole team. And then S3 will facilitate your rotation much faster. Casting basic attack stage 4 is going to give her 1 more segment, so you're going to get 2 out of 3 segments right away when you do basic attack stage 4. And she gets 2 charges to her resonance skill, similar to GN's S1, so she can cast twice now, even more concerto and even more ultimate energy. The remainder S4 to 6 is for her personal output damage. S4 gives her ignore defense when she's doing her Forte heavy attack, and also another 45% ignore defense on her ultimate. And S5 complements S4 as well. S5 gives her a further 40% ultimate damage bonus, and also damage taken is reduced by 30% for the whole team when she does her ultimate. So this 40% increase in Resonance Liberation is going to stack really well with the 45% target's defense ignore, resonance liberation. As for S6, so whenever in solo concert or ensemble sylph, basically when she does her 4th basic attack, she's gonna deal an additional 220% of her own attack as arrow damage to nearby targets. So TLDR, Ciaccona is already workable at S0, S2 if you want that huge 40% arrow damage bonus for the whole team, and then S3 for faster rotation, 4, 5, 6 for her own output if you want her to actually deal even more damage. Team composition wise, if we're supporting Aero, the first slot is gonna be either Verena or Shorekeeper, followed by Ciaccona, followed by the main Aero DPS, so I have GN as an example here. An informed guess would be Katethia will be replacing this slot in the very near future. Nobody knows how she works yet, but the hints are all there. And as usual, the healer will be holding Rejuvenating Glow. Ciaccona will be using the new Gust of Welkin set. And for GN's case, GN will be using the old Arrow set. And for Katethia, most likely she's going to be using Gust of Welkin as well. This is also another speculation where the healer slot can be replaced with Aero Rover, since Aero Rover can also increase the cap of Aero Erosion by another 3, so it can stack up to 6. And since Aero Rover can heal as well, Aero Rover can equip Rejuvenating Glow Echo set. Now, if you want Ciaccona to be the Spectral Frazzle support for somebody like Phoebe or Zani, then Ciaccona can equip Moonlit set instead, with the 3 costs on arrow percentage or attack percent. Now that you know that Ciaccona can jump or dodge cancel her 4th basic attack, here is an example rotation for you. I'll have it placed here on the screen as a cheat sheet. I'll just demonstrate it once and then you can practice on your own to get it right. Alright, first things first, I'm gonna outro Verena. And then intro. 2 basic. Jump. 3 basic. E skill. Heavy attack. Now it's done. I'm gonna ultimate. I'm gonna use Frazzle for Zani. Frazzle, and then Zani. See how she's pulsing Frazzle now? See how Zani is also getting her gauge like this? So this is interesting. When Zani has her gauge constantly filled, she can actually get extra attacks out of it. Even when it reaches like below 30, you can just wait for it to reach below 30 and then Zani will get extra gauge from the Frazzle applied. Like so. Last thing I want to point out is the attention to detail for Ciaccona, which is her instruments. So if you do her basic attack like this, normal 4th basic, she's gonna be dancing and singing like this. If I do a E skill 4th basic or a dodge counter 4th basic, they're the same thing. This is what's gonna happen. E skill 4th basic. She's gonna play her lute. I think that's a lute. Like this. And then if it's a air 4th basic, mid-air 4th basic, she's gonna play her tambourine. So it's pretty cool. So much attention put to her. But yeah, that's it for Ciaccona's crash course. I hope that this has been helpful to you in understanding how to play her, how to get into it right away, her rotations as well, her team composition and considerations. Consider leaving a like, subscribe to the channel. I also have other crash courses here if you want to check it out, and I'll see you in the next video. I'll be flying to Los Angeles literally less than 24 hours from the posting of this video for the Wuthering Waves anniversary celebration. So I'll see you guys there. I'll either stream it live on Twitch or I'll upload a vlog. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.